Turning to some other news now, and engineers spent yesterday repairing damaged flood defences before Britain is hit by yet another winter storm. Storm Jorge will track across the northwest of the country over the weekend, bringing more heavy rain and strong winds. Wales, South West England and Northern Ireland are likely to be the worst affected. It's going to be very windy nearly everywhere, up to 70 miles per hour in coastal areas and up to 60 miles per hour inland.
We know floods are still causing all kinds of problems. Ground saturated all over the place, so more rain is going to be more misery for some. Stav, what can you tell us?
Yes, good morning to you. Yes, it is going to be another stormy weekend for some of us, certainly. This storm has been named by the Spanish Met Service Storm Jorge. It's going to bring a lot of unsettled weather. Heavy rain first in areas we really don't need it. Of course, that could exacerbate problems. Then we'll see very strong winds later on. So here it is, the culprit towards the northwest of the UK and into Ireland, sending its weather front across the country this morning. Some heavy rain, and then we see the winds really batter parts of Northern Ireland, northern western Wales and northern England later in the day. Now, the rain has already cleared Northern Ireland. Here it's turning very windy now, especially into this afternoon, but the rain band's spreading across England and Wales and Scotland. We're looking at some really gusty winds with this rain across central, southern, southeastern England. This could be the strongest of the winds of the day here, in fact, and that rain will clear away, taking the mild air with it too into the afternoon. It's a real flip-flop situation with much colder air moving in, some sunshine, lots of showers. These will be wintry with accumulating snow over the hills of Scotland. You can see temperatures 4 to 8 degrees, even colder than that when you factor in the strength of the wind, as it will be a blustery day for all, but particularly so across this portion of the country. This is where we're most concerned about. Northern Ireland into northwest Wales and northern England, gusts 60 to 70 miles an hour, maybe even more than that, 80 plus across some exposed parts of the coastline here. This is damaging gusts, and along with these winds, very heavy showers with accumulating snow across the high ground, the North Pennines and into Scotland. Now, the winds won't be quite as strong across northern Scotland because here's the centre of the low, but further south it will be a blustery night. The wind's tending to ease down a little bit across the northern half of the country, but we'll see further showers, further snow on the hills as well, accumulating. And to the south, scattered showers and clear spells. So quite a wild night to come. This is Storm Jorge then, starting to weaken as it moves its way northwards. You can see a fair old few isobars on the chart. So it means it's going to be a blustery day, but nowhere near as windy as what we'll see today. So if I'd pick the two, yes, part two of the weekend will be the better looking day.
Have a look at the newspapers now. The editor of the Sheffield Telegraph and Doncaster Free Press, Nancy Fielder, has been sitting here patiently waiting to talk us through some of the inside pages for us. And I think probably the obvious place to start maybe for you is a story you've picked out in connection with the storms. And Absolutely. I'm assuming you've been knee-deep in this story, if you'll forgive the pun.
So we have been knee-deep in this story, and this particular story is talking about the impact, the financial impact on councils who, as we know, are already on their knees, and they're struggling with basics such as adult social care. They're struggling with everything, really. So how on earth are these councils supposed to pick up the massive bills for this? And this is basically an appeal for the areas hit now, an appeal to get more government funding. But actually, I think from our point of view in South Yorkshire, what's interesting is, if you remember at the end of last year, Doncaster and areas around South Yorkshire were completely decimated by floods. And the news cycle's moved on, except locally. And these people are still not in their homes. They're still out. They're going to be out for a good year, some of them. And I kind of think it moves on so quickly that we all focus on the people who are suffering awfully now. But this isn't new. I was once a reporter on the Shropshire Star, and I was sent to Iron Bridge when it flooded back then, probably sort of 15 years ago. And these aren't new problems, and we need really fundamental changes. And we do need the government to step up and A, do what it can to stop these things happening, but B, get in there and help the councils, because they're not going to be able to do it on their own.